The fourth most selected midfielder returns. Why defenders are the safest option in a reduced game week. And who's conceding the most from set pieces? The treatment room. Just a reminder, it's an FA Cup weekend. Dream Team still counts, unlike other fantasy football competitions. And there are just 4 Premier League fixtures this weekend. Okay, what's the story regarding injuries for game week 29? Bukayo Saka is a serious doubt for Arsenal's game against West Ham this Sunday. Arteta said, "We don't know, he was feeling his hamstring." So with Saka in the treatment room, Arsenal will be hoping that traffic clears up this weekend. Son Heung-min's hamstring injury is not as bad as initially feared, and he could potentially feature against Aston Villa. But we're willing to bet that they won't risk him, meaning Harry Kane will be due a back injury any day now from carrying the club in Son's absence. Patrick Bamford suffered a classic playground injury of a dead leg against Chelsea, so should be back for their match against Fulham on Friday. Could be worse, the wet willies and nuggies in the Leeds dressing room have a fierce reputation. Sadly, looks like Rodrigo won't be able to make Friday's game as he's still suffering from a muscular issue. Jack Grealish should be back after 5 games out. The Aston Villa physios just put him in his dream team, which is a dead giveaway. Just kidding, it was the entire canteen staff. Dean Smith said, "We're hopeful for the Tottenham game." I bet. We'll go into just how badly Villa have missed their star man later on in the show. Brighton are suffering from burnout, because Burn is out. Potter said he felt his hamstring tighten, so we didn't want to take the chance. Understandable when your hamstrings are 6 feet long. Seriously, he's very tall. Pog's back in the Man United squad after missing the last 6 Premier League games. David De Gea has been named in their Europa League squad, and there's no sign of Anthony Martial. But then again, there hasn't been all season. Almiron could make a surprise return for Newcastle against Brighton after making good progress. Shame the same can't be said for Newcastle in the league. Key fixtures. West Ham v Arsenal. Well, we made sure North London was red last weekend, now it's time to turn East London the same colour. We scored 2 against Spurs, hit the woodwork twice, it could have been a lot worse for them. The curse of Mark Noble struck West Ham last weekend. Their defeat to United was their second in 3 games. They failed to register a single shot on target. The Hammers have not won a single game when Nobes has started. A noble effort isn't so admirable in this case. Although they were missing the ineligible Jesse Lingard, who will be straight into the starting 11 on Sunday. And he has more goals against Arsenal than any other Premier League side. His brace against them in 2017 under Mourinho has to be one of the highlights of his time at United. The bookies have Arsenal as favourites for this one, and although I tend to agree with that, it is a little harsh. West Ham are second in the home form table, and a win at the weekend could take them 10 points above us. And Arsenal's form away from home isn't exactly great. They've only won 6 of their 14 on the road, recently drawing to Burnley and losing to Villa and Wolves. On the road, they're almost as bad as Aubameyang. But it's just 1 win in 11 for the Hammers in this fixture, or 2 wins in 27, depending on how far you want to go back. Lacazette and Nketiah, remember him? Scored in the reverse fixture all the way back in game week 2 when Arsenal ran on to be 2-1 winners. Villa v Spurs. Let's flip a coin to see which Spurs team will show up this weekend. Tails, the terrible one will turn up. Heads, the equally terrible one will turn up. Spurs' chances rest solely on Harry Kane, particularly with Son's injury. He has 5 goals in his last 3 games against Villa, but it won't be easy to break down this current defence. With Mings and Konza, both of whom could make England's Euro squad, Villa have kept the 3rd most clean sheets in the league this season. And Emi Martinez is an absolute magnet for fantasy football points. He's just 5 points shy of Jack Grealish when it comes to Dream Team points, yet he's the 7th most selected goalkeeper. Hugo Lloris is selected by more of you. Lloris, do me a favour. Villa have been pretty poor recently, with just 1 win in 6. They failed to win against Sheffield United, Newcastle, Wolves and Brighton recently. It's no surprise that's coincided with Jack Grealish's injury. They've only won once and scored 3 goals while he's been out. Ollie Watkins also failed to register in that time, showing his reliance on the skipper. As we mentioned, Grealish should be back against the side he nearly signed for in 2018. He's dodged a bullet there. Historically, Villa don't enjoy this game though. It's 1 win since 2008. Benteke got the winner last time Villa won. Yeah, remember that Benteke? And remember Tim Sherwood? He was managing Villa that day. Spurs legend. Brighton versus Newcastle. Get your defensive assets primed for this one. Between them and the last 13 games, they have just 2 wins and both sides are averaging just 1 goal a game. Neil Maupay is the obvious striking option as Brighton's top goal scorer, but his record is just 7 goals in 26 appearances. Lewis Dunk is their second highest scorer. None of Connolly, Welbeck, Lallana, McAllister and Gross have scored more than 2 goals. Seagulls are attracted to rubbish after all, I suppose. Of the players Newcastle have 100% fit, Jeff Hendrick and Jamal Lascelles are their top goal scorers, with 2 each. We're expecting fewer goals than a local park during the summer, because local councils always take the goals down during the summer. Sunday League facts. We slightly favour the Seagulls for this one though. They are undefeated in Premier League history against Newcastle, with 3 wins and 4 draws. And their 3-0 win in the reverse fixture was one of only 6 wins this season, and only the second time they've scored more than 2 goals. Transfers in. Right, that's the last time I ever pick an Arsenal player. I recommended Aubameyang in last week's show and he can't even turn up for the game on time. I'm only joking, I've picked another one for this week. What am I like? All 3 of my selections do have a Premier League tie this weekend, but I must stress, if you are playing Dream Team, FA Cup does count. So don't completely rule out anyone involved in those games. Lewis Dunk. It's not the first time we've recommended Lewis Dunk and we don't care one bit. Only Stuart Dallas has more goals than Lewis Dunk from defence, and barring incompetent refereeing at West Brom, it should have been more. He now has the same amount of goals as Anthony Martial. Aside from his aerial threat, Brighton did keep 5 clean sheets in 6 games as recent as January, and as I've said, with no Callum Wilson, Newcastle literally have nobody to score goals for them. Kenny Tete. Now, we could have gone with any Fulham defender for their game against Leeds because of how good they are at the back. Fulham's defence is almost as good as Scott Parker's Jackets. Over the past 10 games, only Man City, Chelsea, Man United and Brighton have conceded fewer goals. Plus Leeds have conceded the most goals from set pieces this season, which is 3 more than anyone else at 14. Therefore, don't be surprised if one of the centre halves gets their nut on it. Or Mitrovic off the bench for that matter. Prior to their defeat against City, they had 5 clean sheets in 6, and the only goal conceded in that time was an own goal. We marginally fancy the Dutch international Kenny Tete though. The man they signed from Lyon in the summer has the highest average points of any Fulham player on Dream Team and is selected by only 0.1% of you. His only assist of the season did come in the reverse fixture against Leeds too. Can he do it again? Kieran Tierney. I know, I've done it again. I've gone with an Arsenal player, but look. Tierney had Doherty on toast for the entirety of the North London derby. He provided the assist for Odegaard and generally was one of Arsenal's biggest threats. And he made more tackles than anyone on the pitch. All while carrying Bale in his back pocket. Only Rob Holding has more defensive points than Tierney, and the left back has missed 7 games through injury this season. And you know, we love a crossing stat on this show. He's in the top 10 for defenders whipping balls into the box. At Arsenal, only Saka has put in more crosses than the Scot. Predicted 11s. Alright, so you're up to speed with who's available. Let's get some predicted lineups coming your way. Right, that's all from us. Just before I leave you, I've got to remind you about our Dream Team Fantasy Football game. We've got a new and exciting subscription service for you this year called Dream Team Coach. It offers projected scores, fixture difficulty rating, projected price changes, and loads more if you're looking for that extra detail when picking your team. It's available really easily in the app, and there's also a link in the description below. Oh, and best of all, it's half price right now. That's just £9.99 for the rest of the season. So now's the time to get on it. Let us know what you thought of the show in the comments. Tell your mates about us. We're working hard every week to give you the most informative video on the internet for fantasy football. And let us know what your teams are going to look like. Have you got any obscure picks? How's your season gone so far? Okay, I'm off. Good luck this weekend.